have just sneezed. Yeah, and I just thought everyone should know that. Why did I used to be able to film myself and now I just cover my face? I don't know. But I don't think it's just being a Gen X, or as fucking idiots on the internet like to call me, a boomer. I don't think they know what a boomer is. I don't think it's just my fault. I don't think it's me being stupid that I can't turn my phone around to face myself, or vice versa, when I'm already filming. I think it's something to do with my phone. So if I want to film myself, because I don't have to film myself, but I just think it's quite weird just pointing at a wall or a floor or something and talking. I think it's better to start off because I don't intend to be talking at my phone like talking at the camera. I think I'm going to wander around a bit. So yeah, I roughly calculate my suicide attempts at 8, although I think I'm learning what probably quite a lot of suicidal people, suicidal as in not feeling suicidal. Like people think, how are you feeling today? Still feeling suicidal? It's like, I never feel suicidal. Oh, you seem kind of unhappy. Yeah, I'm unhappy because I have to kill myself and I don't want to die. And I don't know how. But as I said to my dear loving mother, because I get all these little inspirations, and I have to say that although I'm not women are a big fan of the, true crime, murder stuff, and I kind of like those. They don't bother me at all. But I prefer my spooky stories that often involve violent crimes, like Mr. Ballin, whom, as I've said before, who has formed a sort of foundation with his wife. So the proceeds from his enormously successful sort of enterprise, which is far beyond just a YouTube channel or a single YouTube channel now, is telling scary stories, and a lot of them are murder mysteries and stuff, and I find them quite fascinating. And then sometimes, I get inspiration. And one of them was when it turned out she wasn't actually drowned, but it looked like she had been drowned. She was on her knees with her head in a bucket, and her hands had been tied behind her back. And anyway, CSIs, it's quite difficult to fake a murder because, to fake suicide or even fake, I should be more general. It's difficult to pretend that one cause of death is caused by another, because unless you're a doctor or have been medically trained, you don't know what, you're basically having to CSIs, basically your murder CSIs basically reverse engineer what they see. And so in this case it turned out that the woman had not drowned, and they could tell from the lack of, the thing is that evidence stands in sort of layers of time, and there was no indication that she had been breathing in water, and it wasn't even that there was no water in her lungs. I think there might have even been, but there was something like there weren't bubbles, there was no bubbles or in the water, and just something I can't remember exactly. It's not like there would be, I don't know, there wouldn't be bubbles like when she's up, you know, like blah, 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 when she's already dead. But I think, you know, with mucus and that kind of thing, like there would be some sort of formation of some sort of sticky substance that would probably like keep some sort of froth at the surface level or whatever. And yeah, that was one of my, because I tried to drown myself twice. And when I try to kill myself these days, and I say these days because I've been trying for a year and a half, I don't bother with one method, like I try heaps at once. And yeah, the drowning I've tried twice, and I don't just abandon one idea because it doesn't work. It's like, okay, I'll try that again. And the way, like, it's like, how can I? It's like, oh, okay, stick your head in a bucket and, you know, tie your hands behind her back. So, you know, so I was trying to like figure out how would I do this by just somehow making it impossible for me to, you know, exercise my will to get out of it. You know, it's a bit like, you know, the whole concrete boots kind of thing. You can do that to yourself. And I had considered doing that at Aberley Park. Not concrete boots, but, you know, somehow zip tying to myself a backpack with a load of rocks or bricks or something, and somehow, I mean, it wouldn't take a genius. It wouldn't take me to figure out how to do it, you know. But it's a frightening idea, and there are people who murder other people who aren't psychopaths, and who do get squeamish or remorseful, and you know, I don't think there's any remorse involved in my situation. My life is just, there's nothing, you know, like even if one thread of my problems was solved, and each one of my problems is extremely severe. Homelessness is extremely severe, and it's not going to be solved. I belong to Facebook groups that I almost can't bear to look at anymore. You know, there was this, I assume it was a guy, but maybe not. It was an anonymous member who just arrived back to Christchurch and had found himself on the street because accommodation that he was expecting had fallen through, which is very much like me. And I imagined him, like, and he's like, I'm on a park bench, and it's like -1 degree. Like, what help is available for me? He or she was just so shocked, and I was like, oh my God, like, it was just, you know, like I'm in this place that's, well, I mean, the very most that I can expect from it is to be here till Tuesday. Because the owner's gone back on his word, and I don't think that he would be stupid enough to try to go back any further than that. But it's Friday now, so, you know, I got to get my skates on, and I have to say it's been really, even though he went back on his word halfway through, so I didn't have 2 weeks to figure out how to die. I had 1. I mean, I said to him, because I didn't want to put any more burden on him emotionally, you know, because he seemed like a nice guy and he's not. But I've made it clear now that I intend to die. You know, what I was going to do, like, it's just been nice to be able to sleep. I've just airing out the bed. I've just been airing out the house quite a bit. I'll get into that soon. You know, it's like these literal foam squabs. I mean, I don't mean that covered foam squabs aren't literal either, but I mean like just these pieces of foam that I'm sleeping on in this single divan bed. And the best thing has just been that I can just lie in bed for a few days, which I've just desperately needed to do. And yeah, I won't go into what I'd shown of what my mother and I had texted about, but this fucking bullshit about resilience, it's like, you don't tell a person dying of cancer that they have to be resilient. Why would you tell someone in my situation be resilient? I'm really unwell. I'm really sick. And although my illness is not terminal, it doesn't mean that I'm any more physically fit than my aunt was. And whether or not it's chronic fatigue syndrome, it walks and quacks like chronic fatigue syndrome. And so when I collapse, and it's not a matter of resilience. It's got nothing to do with it. The body is not, my body is made of cells. It's a cellular, it's a complex multicellular organism. It's not an attitude. My body isn't built of an attitude. I've got a really sore arm. I've injured my elbow. I'm injured. And it's not getting better. And I've had an injury on my foot for just like a couple of years, and you just get used to bits and pieces. And the thing is that when you are homeless, and I understand why homelessness is described or defined in different degrees, and sometimes referred to as in a bunk lot, because being sheltered is not being homed. Being housed isn't being homed. A lot of it is because you don't have that thing to push against, to leverage off and help yourself. And my fucking lying fucking witch of a mother said Elodie is looking after my health. My mother makes a series of statements to me about my life that she would have no idea about if she hadn't heard about it from me. So she repeats back to me things that I've said to her. And sometimes she repeats them back to me accurately, and sometimes she repeats them back to me in complete hogwash. And I think that's a combination in some proportion of her memory going, there's Alzheimer's in the maternal line. Her mother died with it, not of it. But you do die of Alzheimer's. It's a physical illness. A lot of people don't know that. Well, I don't think she had Alzheimer's. I don't know if she had Alzheimer's. She had dementia, but dementia is a neurological degeneration. It's not just psychiatric. And also you can just have memory problems. And the other thing is that she's just deceitful, and so like a lot of deceitful people, she will mix truth with lies. And it's like, she's got no. Firstly, why would you tell the person who gave you the information? Why would you give them that information back to inform them when they are the source of the information in the first place? And secondly, no, my doctor is not looking after my health. And there are a number of reasons for that. And one of them is that I haven't gone to her for many things because I've had to go to her for things that aren't directly medical but are just medical certificates in the hope that someone's going to obey the law. I haven't had the opportunity to see her nor the money to see her to attend to my physical problems. When I die, I'm going to die with a lot of injuries. Just little injuries, but my doctor's not looking after my health. I don't even see her about my health. You can't see a GP about everything.
you can't get, like, most of the time they have to refer you to secondary providers, okay? And you can't get referral. Like, my mother knows as well as anybody else does, more than anybody else does, that you just can't, like, this country is falling apart. We don't have enough doctors. Like, I don't even, why am I allowing her to dictate the energy I spend on fucking dispelling her fucking bullshit? My doctor is not looking after my health. Nobody is looking after my health. I don't have time to look after my health. Quite aside from the fact that I'm intending to die, I can't imagine wanting to leave a healthy body behind. Like, what's the purpose of that? I don't have the energy to go to any doctor's appointments. I've been in Christchurch for 2 years and I've managed to go to one nephrology appointment. In Wellington, they're every 3 months, and in Christchurch, they're every 6 months. And I've managed to go to one, and I've had one colonoscopy, and I should have had 3. I simply don't have the time or the mental capacity to do these things. When you're homeless, there's no platform. This has been pointed out. And my mother, who spent her sanctimonious life as a civil servant, is a policy analyst and an advocate at IHC. She just lies and lies and lies and lies and lies. And the lies are so evident when she tells me to be resilient, as if my inability to survive outside is a personal moral failing. And then she tells me that I can't move in, as in she won't help me financially because the money's been lent to her and the family, supposedly, to dish out to me as she sees fit to help with accommodation. Like, she won't help me with anything. She pretends she will, but she herself has vetoed my moving in with a single parent family, because there are kids with bugs and it's not fair for them to have in their house, as she says, a seriously ill person. So in her own words, she's called me seriously ill, and yet in the other, when it suits her, then I'm perfectly capable of just persevering. And I cried a little bit earlier today when I went out because I had to pick up my meds, but mostly I don't feel like crying. I don't know, but I've just got a so, I mean, this is my bedroom. I bought this for $5 from this really amazing up shop called L something or other. I found the name. They're just really lovely people on Ferry Road. $5, they usually sell for like $60 or $80 if you can find them. And I'm just trying to make my bed, and I am actually very comfortable at night, and I've just been spending days in bed, which I'm totally fine with. I don't feel there's anything to strive for anymore. I don't feel that I've got any other responsibilities that I have to take care of. There are things that I could possibly need, but not for a shortish term. I've got my meds for today. I've got a stack of ibuprofen because I'm gonna really hit my kidney really hard, and as I said to my mother, and you can see on YouTube that she didn't respond. Like, she doesn't give a shit about me. Like, I mean, everyone knows that. When I say everyone knows that, I mean it's just blatantly, like, there's no question. But today I did a bit more of a push, and I don't know, like, John is an evil person. The guy who owns this house. And I have given my word that I'll look after his place as my own. And it was, in really bad, I mean, it's in bad condition, like this, like it's whatever, and there's no lights on in here and all of this stuff. And I realised that, because I have my showers at night, and there's no light on in here, so I use this thing, and then I use another little hanging light, sometimes here. And I realise all that crap is mostly outside, and I do want to clean it up, and it's not got anything to do anymore with as it was to start with, to thank John for being what I thought was a decent benefactor. He hasn't got any concerns about me living in an unsafe building. He just doesn't want to be held liable. But I bought a whole lot of water from Countdown, so I spent a lot of money on a delivery. And again, like so many times before, I don't intend to live very far into the future. As far as I understand, I don't know what he would do after Tuesday. And all this mess is just me, like, tearing into bottles of water. I mean, it's amazing how quickly you can go through bottles of water. You think, like, I bought so much water. I bought 2 or 4 of those. I've thrown one of those things out. That one's empty. I've got those 2 there. I've had 2 of those bottles. It's the second time I've had to use a 4 or 5 litre. This is 5 litre. I have a 4 litre to flush the toilet. These are all the bottles that I've used pretty much just today. So there's no water to the property. These are the litres that he brought me. He seemed to think that they would do for flushing the toilet and stuff. It's like, no way. So I've just basically been scooping poo out of the toilet with these, oven bags into a bucket, and I got rid of that. I put it into another bag. I've been disinfecting, and I've been airing the place out. When I come inside, it doesn't smell like a disused building anymore. And it's not for him. I don't think there's no honour to be exchanged in this situation. But for my own standards, like, it's very, very hard washing dishes. I have to say, very, very hard washing dishes with water. It's amazing how quickly, without running water, it's amazing how quickly the water will go washing dishes. It's amazing. You can just go through litres and litres. Now, I'm going through the motions of soaking my laundry, and these are the cleaning rags that I should never have started using in the first place, for God's sake, because there's no way I can wash them, although I have been, occasionally wasting water in them. I guess I just don't want to leave my dirty laundry here. It's freezing cold. And all of that is fine. It's fine. Doesn't matter. But I've got to, stuff. I don't know. I don't really know what's going to happen. I have obviously not been successful in my attempts to die before. I just don't know. I don't know. But now that I've got back from the shop and there's nothing, it was nice going for a bit of a walk, and I can't even say, oh, that was my last walk. Like I've done that thing a few times where this is the last time. It's like I don't know. I just don't know. But there's just no way that my life is any future is going to be bearable. It's going to be hell. It's going to be hell. Being beaten up is not as bad as I thought it would be. However, the huge male cop who did beat me up, and I don't know if I've got his badge number and name on court papers here as arresting officer. He's the officer in charge of those charges. LZ or something. Huge, guy. When I say I was beaten up, of course I wasn't beaten up. Not beaten up. I was just assaulted. I was reasonably severely assaulted by him, under the pretense of my resisting arrest. So, twisting my arm and putting me on the ground and, kneeling on me and crushing me under his weight in whatever strange manner I fell on the ground. So, not taking any care about what pressure and weight are on my limbs. I mean, I'm under 50 kilos. He, with all his gear, would have been over 100. Just leaning on one part of a body like that, putting all that pressure, 150 kilos, 160 kilos on a bent part of your body. I mean, maybe that's what happened to my elbow, because I never knew what else had happened. I knew that he was twisting my other arm up behind my back, and I was really worried about that. When Helen Mullis did it, I was worried she was going to break my arm. But when it's a really big guy, I wasn't even scared, because you don't even get the opportunity. You're just in so much pain, and it was a little bit lame for a while, that arm. But I'm wondering if it was actually this arm that got the deeper injury, because I do not have any memory of harming this elbow, and it's quite lame. It's quite a lame arm. I'm not able to do very much with it. I can use, I've got my opposable apparatus, but the grip's not particularly good, and I can't twist and bend it. And the thing is that it's just going to happen again, I think that Victoria Hicks, I don't know, she's a puppet as well. Just because she's leading the prosecution doesn't mean that she's in charge of the operation, but she's in a very, she's in a role of significant responsibility to the public. So she's a real proper criminal, a very, very, very bad, severe criminal, and I don't know. I think she's
I think that she's not calling the shots, but she's puppeteering. She's been puppeteered, and I think she's been puppeteered in a very cognizant way. And I don't know how it works, but anyone can harm me at any time, and can harm me in a way that I can't brush off. If another really big male cop wanted to, or just a regular sized male cop wanted to really beat me up, I don't think that would be very nice at all, and I'm not going to be around here for that. Anyway, John has just sent me a text, ignoring my previous text, saying that it's just popped up saying that he wants to pop around. I'm a bit wary about that, so I'm going to respond, but I'm going to upload this now.